Welcome to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Owen Hayes. You're watching Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented to you by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. And today we've got a great one lined up for you. Hopefully, if you are a clammer, meaning that you like to go to the Oregon or Washington or even California beaches and chase razor clams around, I got a good one for you. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you are very familiar with clam guns, right? Different ways that you can go after. Maybe you like to use a shovel or whatever, but I'm going to throw you a bit of a curveball. I've got Dale Murph here in the studio. He is the owner, operator, manufacturer of the Claminator clam guns. Now, you know we love to talk about local businesses, local folks that are making things for all of us that we love, all the things that we love to do in the Northwest, and this is one of them. Now, I'll admit, and most of you are pretty well aware, nearly 17 years of Outdoor GPS, I don't talk a lot about clamming because I'm not a clammer. That's just one of the things, I guess, that I don't do here in the Northwest. Pretty much everything else that I can anyway. But if you do, I'm going to show you something that you're going to go, okay, got to have it. Because there are some openers that are going on, I believe it started today up in Washington. And apparently Oregon is much more flexible, but we'll talk a little bit about that with Dale. Show you some of the different versions that he has so that you can get yourself something that probably going to last you a lifetime. These things don't wear out, do they, Dale? They don't wear out. Made out of stainless steel, so pretty slick. He's got a bunch of accessories and things that he sells to make clamming easier. And we'll get some tips from him as well on how you might be more successful when you get out there and chase those clams around, especially for folks that are going to take advantage of this opener in Washington. We'll have all those dates and stuff for you as well. Again, I believe that started today, but we'll get all that up for you throughout the show here in a little bit. Also, in our upcoming segment, our report segment, I was out this week chasing steelhead around, spent a couple of days trying to get just reacquainted with the sticks, and when there's no water, it makes it kind of difficult. And that'll be a little bit of the topic. You've heard me whining about no water since duck season and now, of course, into steelhead season. And it's just persisting. I mean, there's just no water. But we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll find out from Peyton Major what we can expect when you're talking about some moisture coming into the area this upcoming week. Just cross your fingers that we start to see some sort of a bump in our river forecast, and we'll have those for you as always. And I've got a handful of photos to show as well. Then we've got our deal of the week from Fisherman's Marine. Another perfect one. If you're like me and you're burning through hooks in these low clear water conditions, you're going to need a lot of them. And I'm going to give you a great way that you can take advantage of that deal of the week. Then we've got a tech tip for you, the Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week. Now, y'all know Beckman has been one of our sponsors here at GPS P-Line for an extremely long period of time. We truly value their support here at Outdoor GPS, and again, we have for going on a decade, if I remember correctly. But one of the things that you can do to these nets, especially if you're like me and you spend a lot of time fishing solo, right? And you get lucky enough, you hook the fish, and now you got to get the darn thing into the net by yourself. That is not easy. And for all you that have done that, it's a skill, and it's certainly something that it took me a long time to get to the point to where I was, I don't really care. I hook a fish, you just net the thing. And I doctor my nets up, the handles, of course, and I'm going to show you how to doctor up the bag itself so that it's easier to net that fish by yourself. And really, it all falls down to the bag management, right? Y'all know how easy it is, even if you got somebody netting the fish for you, that darn bag will find everything that it can get hung up on. If it's a cleat on the boat, if it's another rod, a phone, don't ask me about that one. But there a number of things can go wrong. And this is just a tech tip that's going to help you in a number of ways to, again, be more successful when you make that final scoop and get that fish into the net. It's a great tech tip. It's another local individual making these things, Mr. Tony Marsh. He just makes them on his own, sells them in very small batches. We'll have his contact info for you. I don't even know how many he's going to have available. It's something that you can purchase from him or put your name on the list. When he makes them, you can send them out, kind of thing. But at the very least, it's a good one. And maybe it'll just give you an idea of something that you can do on your own as well. It's certainly, I used it this past year, netted, well, If you remember, I didn't show you a lot of photos, but netted several fish with it until I broke it, and that was my fault, not the product's fault. But at the very least, we're going to have that in that Chevy Silverado tech tip of the week. And we've got a bunch of photos that we're going to get to here in just a second. Should we take, oh, here we go. Let's go ahead and talk. Let's show you some of the photos that everybody's been sending in, and we'll show you exactly how to do it. 25-degree triploid. Listen, it's been so cold over on the east side. Yeah, it's definitely worth it, though. Look at that trout. I mean, those things are just amazing. Look up Austin Mosier, everyone. If you need help finding folks to get out to chase those fish over there, just let us know. We'll help any way we can. Here's a happy camper, yeah, because he's got himself a crab with one of the snares that we've been talking about. That has become extremely popular here recently. Not that it hadn't been before, but we've certainly been talking a lot more about that. It gets a lot more access for folks to get out there. Florida tarpon. Yeah, okay. It's a Florida, who cares? We're in Oregon. Do you care about? I'm kidding. I've actually had a chance to land a couple of these things, and they are incredible fish. Off my bucket list now, but certainly incredible fish. Granddaughter's salmon trip. Jeff sent this in. Thank you. Looks like a couple of silvers or coho for some. Look forward to a good season for that this upcoming year. We'll see if that forecast actually materializes. That they actually came out with this year. We'll see. Beautiful photo. These are some of the ones that we love to see, let alone beautiful boat. Good night. But what a sunrise. Just gorgeous. Oh, late season chucker. I'm already losing, my dog is already losing his mind after duck season being over with. Maybe we should get a hold of some of the folks at those pin race places. Anyway, nice photo. It looks like they had a successful day. Here's a duck hunting photo. We'll see a few more of these before they get wound out. And lots of photos that everybody's been sending in. It does take a week or two or more sometimes, depending on how many we're getting to get you up. Sally's last day limit. That's a good way to finish off. It was a very frustrating season, no doubt about it. Wow. You guys want to go elk hunting? Huh? It's so good over in Jewel, they're feeding them. That's got to be at the viewing area where they do help keep these elk in food in the wintertime. Very cool. Look at all of them. When they need food, they act like cattle. They're not doing that in September, I can promise you that. Don't ask me how I know. It's easy to do, though. We're going to get to that in a second. It's the Fox 12 app. Once you download it on your app book page thing, whatever, you can scroll through it. You find out all kinds of information for us here at Outdoor GPS, but it'll show you how to upload your photos and videos, and we show you off every Saturday and Sunday morning. All right, we're going to cut to break. I do have a phone call that's coming in. I'm going to take that this upcoming segment. I've got my report for this week. We'll go through some of the river levels, give you the weather info that you need for the day. Then, of course, in a little bit, we're going to have Dale Murph from Claminator. Pretty darn interesting design here. We'll be back to that in just a couple minutes.